Hey guys, it's Lindsay, also known as Spite Me Fox, back with you again today. Welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. If you haven't, welcome to the randomness. This is probably not a great first video of mine to watch because I feel like absolute crap and don't really want to draw. But I've been saying I was going to make a video about sucking it up and working your way through your art even when you aren't up for it. So I felt like today was a perfect day. Now, why do I not feel like drawing? Because I stayed up all damn night watching Daredevil. I kid you not. Because of that, and because I don't want to do something that's like a high brain thinking type drawing, I am actually just going to do some Daredevil fan art based on the Netflix TV show. When I'm filming this, season 3 just came out. By the time I get it up, I don't know when I'll get it up. But yeah. So what I'm going to do is draw some fan art and talk to you about sucking it up when you don't feel like working on your shit. What you can do and ways that you can kind of set a moderate expectation for yourself so you don't feel crushed if it doesn't work out the way you wanted it to. But yeah, that's what we're up to today. Let's get to drawing. Alright, future voiceover Spite Me Fox here. God, these sketches are so rough. You can tell I'm super out of practice because these sketches. It's funny how just like keeping up a daily sketch routine helps keep you wanting to create, and it also helps where your work looks better, so then you want to create because your stuff looks good. But anyways, I digress. So for me, the steps for sucking it up and creating even when you don't feel like it is, of course, step 1, putting pen to paper. And by that I mean just getting work done. Do a reference image, do a doodle, draw something that you're good at, but get something moving. If you just kind of stay mired down in the tiredness and in the lack of motivation, you can't really get back up from it. But sometimes when you just kind of knock the cobwebs off, put the pen to paper, get moving forward, it's amazing how much it helps. I also usually don't do digital art when I'm not feeling very creative. Something about having the ability to erase and recreate over and over and over again is just not good for me when I'm trying to create. Like those eyes, man. I should have reworked those eyes. But whatever. It is what it is. This was a doodle. And now that brings me to the second point. The second point is be kind to yourself. When you're trying to create something and you don't really have the energy, you don't have the juices flowing, there's nothing wrong with that, but you also need to recognize that you're not going to create great work during those times. It's going to be harder for you. And you have to just give yourself kind of the cheesy participation trophy and acknowledge that what you're doing is more practice oriented and more to just keep yourself moving forward than it is actually about the piece that you're creating. And the odds are you're not going to create a masterpiece, but maybe you do. Maybe, you know, letting go of the things that hold you back and just pushing and creating something, maybe that's exactly what you needed. You never know. But you may want to, if your piece turns out, and I know how this piece turns out, so if your piece turns out like my piece, it may not be one of your better pieces. You may put it in the back of your brain as a practice, not a full completed piece, even though you spent more time on it than you really should, or you did it in your normal medium, whatever excuse you kind of give yourself to beat yourself up. I've noticed with a lot of creative people, it doesn't take much to find an excuse to beat yourself up. But that is the second tip. Just be kind to yourself and acknowledge that you know, there's nothing wrong with not feeling like creating 24/7. There's nothing wrong with giving yourself some credit for showing up, for trying. And on the opposite end of that spectrum, another thing that you want to do is make sure you know when to quit. There's nothing worse than keeping or sitting there and beating yourself up over and over and over again while you're trying to do something creative and productive, or just while you're trying to do something to help move you forward. It doesn't help if you start getting mired down in it doesn't look as good, it doesn't feel the way it's supposed to. Sometimes for me, especially with digital work, that results in me reworking the same piece over and over again. The more I draw pen to paper, the more I get away from that with my digital work, where I don't have to catch myself in the same kind of a loop of reworking, changing the shading, upping the shading, bringing the shading back down, all of that kind of stuff. And I also don't set myself up to create a stellar piece during times where I don't feel like working. If I know I came into the piece with the intention of just getting something done, I don't expect it to be portfolio ready. I don't expect it to be something that everyone just loves and gives me thumbs up and all the praise on the digital world. And a lot of times I don't post it. Now I've gotten very different about that. I'm trying to post stuff even that I don't like, reach myself out there a little bit more than I used to, just because of what I'm trying to do with social media and how I'm trying to encourage other people. So I've put myself in more of a soft spot on some of these pieces, but that's me. Don't always put yourself in such a tedious place. Another part of knowing when to quit is, for me, make sure that you're both comfortable with the amount of effort you put in. You don't feel like it was a cop-out. You don't feel like you half-assed the work. But like I was saying earlier, you also walk away when it's not really benefiting you from continuing in the piece. That for me is the hardest. Sometimes I'll just keep reworking and I don't feel like I've done enough because I haven't created something that's really beautiful or that feels really correct. And sometimes you don't. Sometimes you just don't have it in you. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you have to set that moderate expectation so that you don't feel pulled down by what you've created. You can give yourself room for practice, give yourself room for growth. And yeah, those are my 3 big tips for sucking it up when you need to create. If you like how I draw or what I talk about when I draw, I always appreciate a like, a subscribe, or a bell notification. Apparently we didn't have enough steps here. Or if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can watch the setup for how I set my stuff up. You can always DM me with any recommendations for topics that you'd love to hear me talk about or drawings that you'd love to watch me do. Next week I'm going to get back in and finish what I'm supposed to be working on, which is my Pokemon Magical Girls. Next week is going to be turning Squirtle into her witch form. I'm very excited about that. And then the week after that will be... Oh wow, I've got to get started. The week after that will be, of course, my Halloween piece that I'm super excited about. I need to get started on that. I just realized how super behind I am and I really didn't have time to have an off day this particular creative stretch, but I had an off day and it happens. I'm gonna go ahead and forgive myself and start sketching on my next round. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you later. Bye!